I'm a Year 5 teacher and a science coordinator. I'm quite new to teaching and definitely new to science coordinating. So TAPS has been not only, it's been lovely to be involved in taking science assessment forward, but also it's been really useful CPD opportunity for me, mixing with some experienced teachers, people who like-minded and are going to help me in my job. When I was thinking about what on earth do I do as a science coordinator, where do I start, and looking at the new curriculum, working scientifically was a bit of a, how do you teach this, how do you make head nor tail of it, and if I'm having problems with it, maybe other new teachers are struggling with it as well, so maybe let's focus on the working scientifically part of the curriculum. And is our school actually doing it and not just teaching the conceptual knowledge of science? So are they actually teaching the working scientifically? And for me, how do I know that they are doing it, and how can I be sure that working scientifically is being covered, if you like, throughout the year? We do an inquiry-led curriculum, so at the start of a term we will pose a question to the children, and then all of our science, for instance, for that topic, if you like, is aimed at answering that question with a challenge at the end. So we don't have discrete science lessons. So maybe I was concerned maybe the working scientifically might be getting a little bit lost in that teaching, and how do we bring it to the forefront? I needed to promote a shared understanding of progression in science, especially for working scientifically. So we focused on, in our school, on the middle yellow box on your pyramid, which is called There is a Shared Understanding of Progression. In order to track the coverage of what teachers were teaching, I created, and I say I, it's really we with Mrs. Earle, this butterfly. The idea behind it, if any of you, like me at the age of 6, would play in the Genius edition of Trivial Pursuits, then you'll recognise that these are cheeses, and within the cheeses are wedges. Okay, so that was kind of one of the ideas behind it. But the way this butterfly works is, if a teacher wants to teach a certain aspect of working scientifically, they can plan a task around that, user-focused assessment tasks that TAPS have been creating. At the end of the lesson, they can colour in one of these segments, and I can then go along at any point and go and grab the butterfly off them and say, oh, you've done lots of recording, that's great, but how about there's no conclusion going on? Maybe you could think about teaching focusing on the conclusions in your science. Another way that it is really easy to use is you can just print this out and stick it on your science wall, and then the kids can colour that in, and they can take ownership of the butterfly. They could have one in their own books, possibly at the front of the books, and colour in a segment when they focus on that particular strand of working scientifically in that lesson. So it allows the children to take a bit of ownership of working scientifically, as well as tracking coverage of how much working scientifically is actually being done in the school throughout the year. In a couple of weeks' time, I'll go around to every classroom and say, give us your butterfly, and I'll know instantly whether we're actually teaching the working scientifically bits. It's easy for the adults to use, it's really simplistic, it's based on our school emblem, which is a butterfly surrounded by a caterpillar, so the kids instantly have a link. It allows adults to see what they need to cover throughout the year. Each working scientifically strand is helpfully highlighted in blue with a little picture so they can figure it out. It's easy to change, make or adapt if I want to do any of that throughout the year. It can be stuck on the classroom wall. It's visual for the pupils, so you could flash it up at the start of the lesson on your smart board and refer to it on your wall, and then come back to it at any point. They start to use the language of working scientifically as well. If you keep referring to it, you say, right, we're going to be focusing on the observing and measuring part of working scientifically in science in this lesson. So they start to use that language, and it's been really useful. TAPS has been really useful, and as for me starting off as a science coordinator, it's been incredibly valuable. So thank you.